Anthony Davis is getting clobbered, and I defended him this morning. Kevin Garnett said it wasn't classy, and Kareem didn't like it. My takeaway is, what are these guys supposed to do? I'd rather have somebody be up front with me and say, hey, I want a divorce so I have time to get picks and players. What do you make of what Kareem said and Garnett said with Anthony Davis?
Well, first of all, Kevin Garnett told Anthony a few months ago to his face, look, get out of New Orleans. Go somewhere you can win. He did it when he left Minnesota and went to Boston and found out it was the best thing for his career. Here was the problem for Anthony Davis that maybe Garnett didn't take into consideration. It had to get ugly. Otherwise, he would have had to just wait until the summer of 2020. So he'd have played another year and a half or maybe another year in New Orleans. The only way for him to get out of there early was to make it messy, and that's what happened. As far as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he did ask for his trade from Milwaukee at the start of the season. Now, I'm told Anthony Davis's representation, Rich Paul, the agent, they would have been happy to make the trade request at the beginning of this season. But Anthony Davis wanted to give the Pelicans a chance to win and see what he could do there. Obviously, they were coming off a nice postseason run last year where they got to the second round, and Anthony wanted to see, look, let's see if we can have another good year here in the West before we make a trade request. When he realized that the season was going downhill, they were third from the bottom in the West, that's when he made his trade demand and decision to leave. He felt they couldn't win, and so that's why the timing was as it was. And it has gotten messy, no question about it.
I'm always a little reluctant to, I like Kareem, really smart guy. I like his worldview on a lot of things. But those old guys, Barkley and Kareem, did not face the social media avalanche today where literally fans are directly reaching out to you. So I think it's much harder for an Anthony Davis or a LeBron or a Kawhi Leonard than it was their predecessors. Now, Friday I had Bill Plaschke on the air, and I offered this to him. I said, maybe it's LeBron's age, but there are times I watched LeBron about 2 weeks before the All-Star game, and I thought he's not engaged. I feel like he picks his spots. Now, I know he was hurt. I don't feel the juice all year with LeBron and the Lakers, and I offered this. I said, I don't know if he's all in emotionally with the Lakers right now. And by the way, Bill Plaschke, I'm going to play this sound and let you listen to it.
You can ask anybody who's in an organization. It's like he's his own company, his own brand, his own element. He's his own planet. And he's orbiting around the Lakers, but he's not landed and connected with the Lakers at all. And yes, and they feel it. You know what the team leader is Rajon Rondo. He's their leader. They love him. The kids love him. You saw how much he celebrated when he came back and beat Boston with that shot. That was real. But he's mentoring them. He's helping them. He's leading them. What's LeBron doing? Putting up some good numbers and playing, but not as engaged and as invested as he should be in any of this.
Now, I could defend him, Chris, and I could say, listen, the guy's been at the top of the world. Now he's fighting for a Western Conference playoff spot. Maybe it's just emotionally he's worn down. How many straight finals? Do you feel like he's all in?
Well, I think there's two things going on. When you talk about you looking at him on the court, what you're seeing is an older player who has to pace himself. We could look back last year in Cleveland, heck, maybe the last 2 years in Cleveland, and see the same thing. Times when he's not defending, times when he's not engaged offensively. When you say not engaged offensively, the only time LeBron, for the most part, looks engaged offensively is when he has the ball in his hands.
Right.
And that's because he really doesn't know how to play off the ball. So now that he's older, it really is pronounced. So that's the one thing. It's just age-related. The second thing is Plaschke is right. The Lakers signed another corporation. That's what LeBron James is. And just like the Lakers are looking at him as somebody I can use, let's use him to get what we want, he's looking at the Lakers that same way. And he looked at Miami that way. And he looked at Cleveland that way. I would say the last time LeBron James was fully, totally, 100% all in with the franchise was his first stint in Cleveland. And then that's when he realized, man, I need some superstars to help me win a championship. Other than that, Miami, Cleveland the second time around, and now the Lakers, it's a business relationship. So he's using the Lakers to get what he wants, just like they're using him to get what he wants. So that's the reality when you're dealing with the LeBron James. I've sat on your couch before last year and said, look, LeBron has to recognize when you go to the Lakers, they're expecting a championship. Now, LeBron is like, if I win one, great. Of course he wants to win. But if I don't win one, my legacy is set. He's already said that. I don't think Lakers fans are seeing it that way.
Right.
They're saying Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, Wilt even, Jerry West, they all delivered a championship. If you don't deliver a championship, we're going to view it as a failure.
Yes.
His legacy is what it is. Top 5 player of all time, in most people's eyes, second best or maybe the GOAT. But if he doesn't win a championship, it's not going to sit well with the Lakers fans.
Yeah. Finally, I think that Anthony Davis and Clutch Sports and Rich Paul came out really aggressive. I did not fault them for that, but they got their hands slapped. And now Anthony Davis is parading around going, yeah, I'll play for all 29. I've got no favorites. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm cynical on that. Are you?
Yeah, well, look, of course he doesn't mean all 29 teams. The interesting thing is, does he mean Boston? He said they're on my list. Now, technically, he also said I never said Boston wasn't on my list. And, of course, he didn't personally, at least not publicly. But, you know, his representation, that came from somewhere. All right? Here's the thing, though. If he really is like, look, I want to win. That's what he said. I don't care about market size. I don't care about market. If he's like, I want to win, if he really believes that, and if Kyrie Irving stays in Boston, then Anthony Davis will go to the Celtics. And LeBron James will never get him. Because a year in Boston with Kyrie signed to a long-term deal, they're going to be very good.
Yeah.
They may win the East.
Yeah.
If the Warriors break up, they may win it all. And then a year in that organization with the great front office, the great coaching staff, being in a professional organization like the Celtics compared to where he's coming from, New Orleans, he's going to stay long-term in Boston, just like Kevin Garnett we talked about earlier. He didn't want to go to Boston. He was very skeptical about going there. And once he got there, he realized it was the best thing he could have done for his career. Anthony Davis would end up staying long-term in Boston, and LeBron would never get him.
By the way, he'll be on First Things First with Doug Gottlieb all week. Chris Broussard, my buddy. Good seeing you, man.
You too.
You know, Joy, I was thinking about this. If you were, how old's Anthony Davis? Like 26, 27, something like that, 28? If you were Anthony Davis, and again, he's got stacks of money.
He's 25.
He's only 25? God, he's got like 8 years left. Great 8. Where would you go? Wouldn't you go to Boston? Forget City. Do you want to win? I want to be playing basketball in June. If I'm an NBA star, I want to be on the court in June. There's only one way. Get to the finals. Forget LA. I would go to Boston. They have more good players in their prime. To me, it seems so easy. I mean, Boston has the best stuff, and Boston has, I mean, again, LeBron's great, but after LeBron, it's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of, I mean, Boston's got real rock solid. I got veterans Al Horford. I've got good players, Gordon Hayward. I got a star, Kyrie. I've got an emerging star. Isn't it an easy choice?
Well, sure, but you also have to think macro when you're making decisions like this.
Well,
because, I mean, do you want to do the LeBron route where you have your first big move in your career and then you go to Miami and then you don't end up staying there, and then
But you
go
won a
back
bunch
to
of titles,
Cleveland,
and you were the center of the universe.
Sure, but some people don't want to move that much, and you want to establish a legacy in one major city.
I don't know.
Where is that city? What is the culture of that city?
Maybe
Are you comfortable in that city?
Maybe we're all overvaluing the brand of the Lakers, and it just doesn't matter. Now, in baseball, we know the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers, and they've got more income. They have more revenue because of their cable deals. But maybe in basketball, it just doesn't matter. I mean, if Paul George chose Oklahoma City, I mean, if that, I mean, I've always thought certain markets matter. Like in college football, the South, you can win more good players.
But also, Anthony Davis is 25. One player can swing the fate of a franchise.
I don't know. That's weird. I mean, if you sign a 4 to 5 year deal with the Lakers, halfway through it, LeBron's in his 19th year, 18th year.
Well, who's to say he's going to sign a 4-year deal?
Would you give up a bunch of stuff to get a 1-year deal? I wouldn't. No way. I don't know. If I'm Anthony Davis, this looks so easy. I would want to go play with I got the Al Horford, Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, a good coach, smart. It seems so obvious to me. Just go win a bunch of games. Now the weather stinks. Yeah, I get that. Boston, Chowda, it's cold. But I live in Los Angeles. It's raining nonstop for 8 weeks.
It's not going to be like this forever
I think it's
in
the
LA.
new Los Angeles.
It's not the new Los Angeles.
Literally.
I don't know. Global warming. Maybe it is. I could be wrong.
Enjoy with the news.